All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for our weekly Crown of the Gods stream. We've been very busy this week doing all types of improvements, which you can see on our patch notes. Our patch notes have been getting really, really long lately for maintenances, and we're quite
I think
proud
that's
of
good.
the
Yeah,
way how efficient we've become at fixing things. And not only that, but I think that putting up the patch notes is great for players to to check it during the maintenance to see what we've changed and what should be fixed and what shouldn't be fixed.
gives them something to read and talk about while the game is down.
Not only that, but a lot of them are really good about going down the list of patch notes and actually checking that they were all fixed.
Yeah.
Yay.
Because we get
Well, that's good.
bug reports saying, with copy and paste from the patch notes saying this is still not working or this is working. So it's
Yeah.
Yay.
gotta love our players. They're very good at testing.
Very thorough. Yeah.
The thank you notes are cute too.
Um, so we have been busy adding things as well as fixing old things. I think our next maintenance will probably be tomorrow because we got a bunch of
Yep,
stuff to
sounds
put
good.
in. Um,
Woo.
well, let me try to get back to this live streams because I can't see the chat.
Homer Paul asks, city lists, can they be sorted, please?
Um, they are sorted and it's by choice. So, like if you look at my city list here, and then you go to um, the list options and manage list, you can just drag things here and there. So
Drag and drop.
let's say you want CBA and then Z list, and then you save it, and then you probably have to switch once. Or yep, switch cities probably does it. Maybe if it will allow me to
Silken asks,
switch
is there
cities.
a max number of lists allowed?
Oh, I'm in that list. That's why. Yeah, see, there it goes. So it's however you sort it. There is not a max, I don't think. So it's as many as you want.
Oh, Homer Paul says, actually, I think a couple of other people have reported this too. New cities not showing up in the undefined city list.
I think it takes a city. Okay, I know what the reason for that is. I can fix that.
Yay. Okay.
Uh,
Excellent.
because I think it's not actually adding the cities in until. So it's not adding a new city to the unassigned list. So yeah, I can fix that.
Sweet. I've added it to the bug list there so we don't forget it.
All right.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, I figure the sorting and allowing people to sort it is better than me sorting it alphabetically, because that way people can put them kind of the order that they want.
Yeah. Hubs at the top or whatever.
Um, I have been spending a lot of time working on the overviews, and
Yay.
I can bring those up, show everybody. We've now kind of consolidated the links into different little submenus so that the list doesn't get too long and they're kind of grouped together. Uh,
Perfect.
so you've got cities where you can see your city overview, your troops overview, and the Where's My Senator tab. And then you've got the counselors, which has the Build Counselor tab and the Trade Counselor tab. And then My Alliance, where it's got members, members cities, and blessed castles. Um, and then there's the incoming and outgoing attacks, and then there's the raid windows, where you can have your raid reports and your raid manager. And one of the cool things that I was quite happy about figuring out this week was now the overviews allows you to do game options. So if you look right now, I'm in the city of GM Gordy. Um, if you're in your city overview and you click 51-3 and then you go back, it's switched to that city for you. So you can change all your cities from the overviews.
Mm-hmm. Interactive overview. Woohoo.
So it'll go directly to whatever city's on there. If you do that in troop overviews, they all kind of do it as well. Does the same thing, or switches you to the city. If you do it in the alliance and go to like member cities, if I click player, it'll bring up that player's information in the game. If I click the city name, it'll show me her city on the regional map. So you can pretty much
Awesome.
click any of them, jump straight to that city.
The next
Silicon
fun.
asks.
Oh, sorry. Go
Oh.
ahead.
Silicon asks, so can we get an overview that displays all currently owned items? Actually, we don't even need to have an overview for that. I think the plan is to just put in a third tab, that, just like in the items menu, that just says my items. And we will get that in at some point soon.
Yes.
In fact, I'll add it to the book list so we don't forget.
The changes to the overview is that's going to be with the next maintenance, right?
Yes.
Cool.
And this also works for the incoming and outgoing, so pretty much every place where there's a city name, a location, or a player name, they all link to the same thing. It also works for the raid manager. If you want to click on one of these dungeons, it takes you straight to the dungeon, pulls up the information. Yeah, I think if you haven't set your filters, setting your filters will kind of
Can I kickstart it?
kickstart
Yeah.
them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the raid manager that I'm going to kind of walk through. So basically, this is where all of your raids are. And what's weird is that my chart is not showing, but there is a chart here that also shows you the percentage of the different type of dungeons you're hitting. And this will show every one of your cities that are out raiding. And it shows kind of like an overview for each city, so it shows the amount of TS out raiding, the amount of raids out, the amount of raids returning. You've got one overview table here that shows all of them. It will also show the total resources that are incoming, although mine are all out at the moment. My next hit time is in 3 minutes, so then I'll be able to show people the resources.
Rainbow, as to the percentage in your troop counts, hover over your pie chart and it'll tell you the troop count too, along with the percentage.
Yeah, you know, actually with troops, I could probably do the same table for troops up top. It doesn't actually show you, it shows you the percentage, but I should probably change that to show the actual amount. But I can probably do a total row. I can probably do it straight into the table, like at the bottom, just have a total row. So
Yeah, I think
I'll
that
add
would
that
be
in.
Okay.
good. Or maybe the pie chart, having it in the tooltip on the pie chart might be easier for people to see without having to scroll.
Yeah. The
No,
only
we can do
problem with
both.
the pie chart is that if you've got like a small amount somewhere, it's like doesn't show that well. I guess
Yeah.
points does.
Well, we can do both.
The other cool thing about this is I also have the recall all buttons in, so you can go in through each city and just recall pretty much all of the troops. It'll work the same way as the X button does, where if they're recurring raids and they're within the time limit of them going out, they'll turn around. If they're past it, they'll turn a recurring raid into a regular raid and it'll stop on the next one. You can also use the speed up item on all of them too, so it will automatically turn around all of your troops and they will turn straight home. Here, let me
With the chariot.
with the chariot. So if you we'll go into this city, you can see my raids. They're all recurring. If I click recall all, and I haven't tested this that much, but it should work. See, then they all turn from recurring to regular raids.
Yay, perfect.
And then if
Beautiful.
I use the chariot, they all turn around and come back.
Awesome.
at sped up times.
And if you don't have the chariot already, will you get a confirm pop up?
No, I need to put in some sort of error pop-ups or something,
Cool.
or confirm pop-ups, because right now it's just
Yeah.
checking if you have the item and then buying it. So
Okay. Well, we can get some confirm pop ups in there so people don't end up accidentally buying 14 chariot.
Right. We do get all tickets, and I have replied to everyone's tickets, each and every one, for the past several weeks.
what is the chariots only cost 500, so 15 raids would only be 8,000 max,
Yeah.
7,500. But yeah, it's a good chunk. But if you want them home now, um,
Yeah, we need to get the pop up in there.
yeah, I just
So
haven't
that,
put it in. It's more of
right.
a you know trying to get things in first and then working on pop-ups and things like that. But it shouldn't be hard to
Oh,
get in.
in the overview, can you click on the plus to show the resources?
Oh yeah, there it is. So if you this one's got the returning times first. So these are the returning. It'll show you the total resources, and then if you click on the plus, it will show you the breakdown of the resources that are incoming.
Mm-hmm.
It'll also show you the total resources that you have incoming for all of your raids up there. You can also click on the troops, and since you only have one, it doesn't really open up a new row. But if you had multiple sets, it would kind of flow down and show you the exact troop breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And you can also recall all of them individually.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So I figure that should be helpful for people to manage their raids.
Maybe we could get a pop up actually in the overviews so that if you click the chariot item, regardless of, I mean, even if you have 14 chariots, it'll still, a little pop up box will appear saying, do you want to use these 14 items? It will cost you 14 items and this amount of charisma.
Yeah, and we'll link that to the kind of the same options as on the main game.
That's in game. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and I haven't heard any complaints about the pop-ups not working, so we did do that well.
Yay. Awesome.
Also, it's not only with the individual raids can you see the resources, but it does the same thing for if you just look at the city, and it'll show you all of the resources incoming for that city.
Oh, great. Awesome.
I think it exports, but I'm not sure if it will export the actual raids down here too. So maybe eventually I can put in a custom export button so everybody can get all of their raids in one big export.
Nice. Silicon asks, when do we get that? Tomorrow maintenance?
Yeah, the tomorrow maintenance.
Yes.
We also had the contest that we announced, what was it, last week?
Mm-hmm.
About,
yes, yeah.
We're going to take raid reports out of the game completely, mostly because a lot of people don't like to look at them anyways, and they take up a bunch of memory and space in the game that's not necessary when most people keep them hidden in the first place. So people kind of more or less like to have an overview of their resources, so we're putting them into overviews. We got quite a few submissions, I think, and AD,
some are really good.
Give the link for that.
Yeah.
For the winner.
Yep. Let me get it out real quick. No. And this is the winner. Congratulations to Aaron Moore.
Yay.
So yeah, that's the winner from Aaron Moore. And I can actually show you guys. I've already actually put it in, so we'll be in for the next patch. You kind of get an overview of the dungeon types. I did it a little bit, some of the information is slightly different than what he had on there, just some of it's not feasible. Since it's just for raid reports, I figured dungeon types would be better than having all the different report types. Maybe eventually we'll do an actual full reports overview, and then we can use a pie chart like that to show the amount of attacks that went out for incoming and outgoing, and
Ooh,
kind
that
of like a
would be
pie
cool.
chart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, yeah, but you could see, like an overview of all the troops a single city has killed, which would be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has two bar charts here. One is the amount of resources that you've looted, and one is the amount of resources that you've lost by losing troops. And then you've also got amount of troops sent. So every time you send to a raid, it adds to the troops sent, and every time they die in a raid, you get troops lost. And then if you click up here to reports, it will give you a list of all of your dungeon reports, and you can do all the kind of same options. We are going to add in like an archive, since we are deleting dungeon reports. If you have one that you want to save for later, you can archive it, and we'll have a little button up here where you can switch into the archive, and it will not delete that report. It'll save it for you. It probably wouldn't be too hard to make it specific to a city. And then if you click on one of these reports, it also shows a bunch of information in the header. So it shows the dungeon progress, it shows the amount of troops lost, the amount of carry, and then if you click on it, you get the raid overview, which is kind of shows the available resources. So these were all the resources that were in the dungeon. Shows the amount that you actually lost, and we added in food for the cost of travel time for the amount of troops that you sent. So
Oh, cool.
how much food your troops ate while they were moving.
Yeah.
And then the next row shows you the amount that was actually carried home. This shows you the amount that you actually missed by not carrying all of it. So this is the leftovers that were still in the dungeon, of which you could have carried.
Awesome.
Which doesn't look to be correct. So that's another thing to fix. I just kind of did that this morning. So that one needs to be fixed.
As you can see, Rand, to your question, yes, you can see your troop count and type for a particular dungeon.
Yes.
Cavern, sorry.
And then it's got the, the amount that was available, your carry capacity, the amount you lost through troops dying or eating, and then the total profit. Then it also shows a breakdown of the units, which just gave me a good idea that when you first switch over to it, maybe you should have like an overview that shows this for all of your reports, because that would not be hard to do. So maybe I'll do that.
Separate offload when I do overviews, not loading down the server.
It's more about one, having the space, because you can't do something like this inside a game window because it takes up the entire window, and then you can't move around in the game and have them open, and you've got to open it again. So it's, we kind of like having it in a separate tab. Also, it is less load on the game because you're kind of pulling the same information, but I'm able to pull it in a better format than I would if we put it in the game. And I just think there's a lot more you can do with it when it's outside the game like this. Especially if people have two monitors, you can separate this out and do actions while you've got the game open in the other one. If you've only got one monitor, like I do, then it's still nice to see big charts and be able to export it, which we would not be able to export it if it was in the game. Uh, I'm not sure what's wrong with the reports. I'll be taking raid reports completely out of reports.
Oh, he's talking about the ghost reports where notifications are being left behind
Oh,
when you delete or.
yeah, once I get the raid reports out of there. So what happens is that in order to get those raid report counts, I kind of have to count the number of reports you have unread in the database. Um, with the raid count, with the raid reports currently in there, it's like 2.5 million, and that's with me deleting them every 24 hours. So um, the raid reports probably don't delete because I already moved them to the kind of their own database table. But taking those out means I can make the live update of the numbers better. I also need to put in something to make it so that it does it when you actually click, because I think it's like a 60-second delay currently in between when you read something and when you get the number change. So I just need to put it in there on the actual read to lower the number, which I can do. So add that to the list.
Okay.
Yeah, right now sometimes select all isn't selecting them all either. If you have like over 100,
Yeah,
you have to scroll down and click it again.
I do need to make that so that if you click select all, it just selects all of them, no matter if they're in the list or not. So add that to the list as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about taking the raid reports out is that you won't have to kind of go through these, and because the dashboard is its own kind of window, you can see all of them at once and select all of them at once. Um, and just be able to, delete them straight off the bat.
Yeah, so they won't be in the game anymore. You'll be able to do them through overviews now.
Although I think
The only ones that are staying in the game are the
trade,
attack reports and trade and other miscellaneous ones.
right, the more important ones, because just raid reports are way too many. So having them this way is, you know, a lot easier. Maybe we should add a third tab for raid reports by cities or city overview or something. Or maybe just a drop down here where it can say all, or pick by a specific city type. Yeah, or by continent. No, there's not a way to select more than one tile at once when building. It's pretty much one tile. And that's mostly to prevent user error, because you would get a lot of user error with that one. Especially if people had an item on and they were speed building, and then all of a sudden they dropped 6, and they're like, I didn't mean to drop 6. But we do have the keys, which make it really fast. I think Overviews does open on mobile, and it's made to be responsive. So if the window is small for mobile, this will all shrink down to fit in appropriately. It's kind of the nice thing about using Bootstrap, which is the CSS or style sheets we're using. So they're naturally responsive. So like things like this for the raid reports, if you looked at this on mobile, it would stack this bar chart underneath the pie chart so that you could see it well. I would like to eventually put a link to your overview, at least until we get a mobile app, onto the play page or something. So you could actually, if you were on your phone and wanted to check your account, you could just log in and view your overviews.
Yeah, that'd be good. We can do that.
Then you can see your incoming attacks and things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could, but that'd also be a big way. It'd be a hard thing to code, as well as I think that there'd be a lot of user error with that, even if it was select to click them
Yes.
all or control click. You'd be surprised how many tickets we get that are uh, just like that, like exactly like that.
Yeah, that's what he was just meaning. Invisible is that if he puts it on the play page so that you can just click your overviews instead of having to actually log into the game. Just until we get the mobile app done.
But it would be a pain in the butt to code as well, to grab multiple locations and check all of them, and it'd just be a lot more involved in it. Maybe eventually.
We're not going to make it so that the building counselor can read layouts and automatically build them.
No.
That's too much automation.
I might as well just let you log in once every 3 weeks and check to see how the game is running your account.
Tier asks, with that being able to directly access the overviews from the play page, if then we could also get like a option to mail in there, to send mail.
I mean, we could
So
probably
that
have them.
if you are being attacked and you are in work or something and can't get onto the game, that you can email an alliance member or something.
Yeah. We could also probably do some kind of give somebody my sub thing too on the overviews if we're going to use it like that for the time being.
Okay. What Tier just said there?
Exactly
In his
what
comment.
Tier said.
Yep.
I have been kind of toying with the idea. I don't know how people think about it, and we won't be doing it in the middle of this beta, but maybe the minimum time being linked to your current game rank.
Construction speed. Oh yeah, or that.
I think game rank could be better, because then if you went down, if you went up to Caesar, you get 5 seconds
2
or
second,
2
2
second
second builds or something.
minimum
Yeah.
builds, and then we could scale it up from there. That way, when you get to the point where you've got 500 cities, it doesn't take
20
so
new
long.
ones to build.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, it doesn't take 10 seconds per building. And
Yeah, that would be
that'll
good.
cut a lot of time off of the initial building of each city, make it less tedious. I do like it by rank instead of CS.
Yep. Well, it'd be better
Yeah.
both. Because if you only had 100 CS, it'd be 10 seconds regardless. But if you had 200, then it would, go down to 7 seconds. So, it'd kind of be by both, where just the minimum. That reminds me, for anybody who didn't notice, we did add in tags to do reports and alliance and player and coordinates, and this allowed us to put those into mails. So mails now work with the little tags.
With the tags too. Yeah.
Mhm.
So do profile and internal announcements so that we don't have the buttons there. The tags still work if you type them in.
Yeah. So
No, Sly, your idea isn't going to get lost.
M says, what idea?
yeah, it does work as well as I'm surprised we haven't seen more of it, but you can where's alliance? You can use actual HTML with the buttons and tables and different fonts and stuff. This is a very good example of that.
Everyone pay attention to it.
But then you can, use it to do your external profile. So if you look at,
And just asks, is that true, Eddie?
that is true.
I let King do it now.
If it wasn't true, it would be slander. So as you can see, it will show up as colors with the different smiley face things, and it also allows you to put links in. I also put in the back and forward buttons too, so you can go back to whatever you were looking at before.
The other girl is Ala. Yes, I'm Ala. Half of my face is cut off in the ADS stream. Thanks, Gordy. How much time do I spend getting the game better versus making sure Gordy is doing his stuff? I think it's probably roughly 50-50. He gets very distracted, you see.
Yes, I do.
Sly's idea is to, once you add an overlay, if you click the building on the overlay, it'll just plant that building.
I think that we're always going to have people who have to actually click to build their own cities. Um, I know it might seem kind of a pain in the butt, but there's a lot of things that the counselors actually do for you already. And if you start taking away a lot of the user action where they can just, hit a button and it does things like place buildings for you, the game will get actually boring faster. Um, so a lot of the things that make players better than other players or have higher rankings or stuff is that they actually take the time to go through and just click and build stuff. Um, and if you get a system down, it's not overly hard to manage either. Um, but if you put too much automation in the game gets kind of boring. At least that's my
True, it
thoughts on
does.
it. Even if it
Yeah.
seems like it'd be a good thing, you'd get bored quicker.
Yeah, and you don't want to script that with a bot because
Yeah,
we
and
wouldn't let it happen.
yeah, that's exactly the best example of an illegal use of scripts I can think of. If somebody will script that and somebody will also, you know, get severely punished for that. So,
If they have not been using it, it would have been found already.
yep. I mean, I'm sure people can try, but it's going to get to the point where, is it worth the risk for the penalty? And that's kind of one of the parts of penalties. Is you not only have to be able to detect and check things, but you also at the same time have to be able to have good enough penalties that make people not want to do it in the first place.
Cheers says that there's a player called Gordy who is doing that, and we need to ban that player.
Yeah, that player can also do stuff like that.
Cheater, cheater.
So if there are people using them, I will find them. It is something we are very serious about.
You cannot attack yourself, Gordy.
Oh, apparently I can't. I wonder why it's telling me that. I must have taken one of her cities.
Huh?
Oh, is it me you're trying to attack? Yeah, you've taken a lot of those cities now.
Maybe. Oh, apparently not. Apparently I can't attack myself. What have you been doing to the code?
Clearly, the game just thinks we're the same person.
Evidently.
Apparently must. Um,
Yeah, I broke it. I did it.
and another thing about the penalties is, like say an alliance writes one, and enough people in the alliance are using it, we'll punish the entire alliance. Um, Even the people that aren't using it as well. So, I have no problems taking temples away, like severely capping alliances and if they're using cheats. So it is something we take seriously,
Yes.
and is something that the punishment will be severe enough, especially for the first person who gets caught, that other people won't want to do it as well. And it's not like I'll ever ban an account because I don't really believe in banning accounts, but it will be enough of a discount that you definitely don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And it might not be right away either. If we caught somebody and it was in the beginning of a server, they might not get the discount until later on. No, that's just for scripts that use automation. I am fully supportive of any kind of information scripts, things that don't do user actions, things that give data. We're actually going to make a script market in the future so that people can write scripts and put them up on the script market and then be directly integrated into the game. And then other people can purchase the scripts and the writer will get some small amount, kind of like the iTunes store for the script that they wrote. Um, this is kind of has always been our plan, so we fully support scripts. We just don't support ones that do things that we would consider automation.
What was it that Boss Tools did again? That wasn't a script that I used very much. It was the fill with resources thing, was it?
Yeah,
I think that's the only thing that we don't have that Post Tools had.
Yeah.
which I think
We
is
do
on the list.
intend on getting that in. Yes, it is. I need to make the menu in Trade Counselor, and then we will get that in the
Yeah.
next week or two.
So you don't need Post Tools anymore because Overview's interactive and we're adding fill with resources.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
It
we
will
tried
be
to
a
add.
Trade Counselor function.
We did try to add a lot of the you know more popular scripts directly into the game, like the locate cavern um, script. Kind of gives you same kind of thing that Merc Tools did. Of course, not without the recommended numbers, because as the actual game, we can't recommend numbers, because I can only imagine the amount of tickets we would get if somebody got a 99% of capacity on a dungeon um, using our recommended numbers. So it's much better for
Yeah.
somebody else to put recommended numbers in if they so please. Um, we do also put in the idle units um, as well, which apparently handles 100 million vanquishers quite well.
But if autofilled numbers are recommendations, so
Yes, and
yeah,
they can be somebody else's recommendations and not mine.
right.
Yeah, you can script in your own recommendations if you want to.
Because then you can go and complain to that person that their recommendations are off because you got
Right.
99%.
Oh God, especially if somebody else hits that cavern before you do and they progress it, and you get a really crappy raid back because you didn't send enough. Yeah, that would be.
That's the
Yeah.
reason we don't do it. And a lot of the
We're
stuff we added into overviews directly. Um,
and we're not gonna do a combat tool, right?
no, combat tools are so kind of personal as to the way people want them. So if we made one, um, you know, it might not be the kind that other people want. So other people are more than welcome to make attack um, planners. The only limitation I have on those is that I wouldn't want something where you could press send and it sends from all of your cities, but something where if you set it up and then went to each one of your cities and just pressed send, that'd be better. Uh, I might have an issue with people mass sending from every city in their list
Yeah.
because that's a little bit too much automation.
Yeah.
Like the way Merc Tools did it would be all right.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. We have to be in the city.
but you would actually have to be in the city for that. The things that I'm okay with, not being in the city for, will be in overviews or like filled resources is an okay one too, because you're in a city. Um, but the attack one would be too much. Yeah, I was getting some kind of weird whispers from that guy. Must be the NSA asking me for more pictures. Um, just trying to solicit some kind of service. So,
Wonderful.
um, So we've got some time for questions if people want to ask more, if they want me to run through any of the options um, to understand what they kind of mean or how we did them or things like that. I think most of them are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, overviews is just getting better and better all the time.
And they load pretty quickly as well. I mean, I'm sure there's some
Hmm.
lag on 500 cities because that is a lot to load. But
Totaling what at the bottom, Rand?
he's talking about totaling the like troop counts at the bottom, which wouldn't I don't think it'd be hard to do. Um, yeah, I'm not quite sure I'd have an issue with the clearing out the center. If anything, that was something we thought we might actually put in ourselves. Um, so, maybe we put in a center clear as well as some kind of evil button that center clears with powders. Because I know how the temptation gets you guys. Mailing list too.
Yeah, Alliance Forum notifications, which I think we're not sure if we're going to do, and then yeah, mailing lists we can get in.
Uh, Actually, I don't plan on doing Alliance Forum notifications. We've got enough live counters for reports and things like that, so I don't see the need to add in a forums one. You know, maybe some sort of different alert notification or something, but to add in the number, that's just an excessive load for things that people don't actually care about. To look to see if somebody's added something to a forums.
I think Randboat wants mailing list.
Yes.
Yeah, we can get that in. Maybe, I don't know, could we get that in before tomorrow?
Uh, Maybe.
Yeah, well, if people seem to really want them to.
Tears says that he has one person that would be interested in seeing the map, the world map.
The new world map,
Yeah.
which I'm kind of teetering on if we're going to do it or not. I might continue to do the other one just because, you know, uh, to do the world map that we wanted to do, um, you'd have to do it outside of the tab. So it'd have to be a third tab, and doing a third tab would be way too much. Um,
Too
when
many tabs.
overviews are its own tab as well, so
Yeah.
it might just end up being that I figure out a better way to do the current system that we're doing now and keep it like that, um, which is kind of what I've been working on, because this is a kind of a comprehensive map system. And maybe something we offer as an option in the overview or something eventually, since I've already done a lot of work on it. But I think we're just going to do the regular dots on the current world map so that people don't have to have a third tab open for it. So this is the prototype world map that I had been working on. Kind of zooms in and out and clusters the actual um, different cities so you can see your own stuff there. You can see the shrines and you can click on them. We were going to add in, some sort of radius to the shrines too, so you could actually see the enlightenment zone. As you zoom in, it turns into the actual regional map, but it's just way too much to put directly into the game. Uh, yeah, I mean, a vote's a good thing and all, but it still comes to the point of whether a new person wants to open a third tab. Um, I just feel like 3 tabs is way too much already. So maybe it's something we do add to overviews eventually. So if people wanted the third tab and the, you know, straight, the very interactive and kind of thing world map, but we can do a lot more with world map as far as actually now that I've figured out how to do it from a second tab, I could make this interactive. So if you double clicked, it would move it to regional pretty easily. You can probably do all the exact same things. It's just having the third tab open is a lot, especially for people on like a phone or like a crappy old computer. Because even though you have 3 tabs, it still takes up the RAM of all 3.
That's planned, Rand, to change the little icon on the info panel to whether water or not.
What's that? Oh yeah, the in the regional view.
If you find a spot that you've settled and it's supposed to be on water, tick it with the coordinates.
Yeah, and it's not something that'll be fixed, but we will fix it for the next round. But I don't mess with the cities once the server's going, because I did that one time before, and everybody can remember oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just need a some kind of water spot thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can just change the picture to have water in one corner or something.
Yeah.
And I did change the click now where it shows the exact distribution or the exact resource nodes in a spot. So if you take the spot, it will have 20 wood nodes, 24 stone, 20 iron, and 8 food. So those should be pretty accurate. So it's no longer a distribution or a guess. It will show the exact number in that city. You know, I could definitely do that for tomorrow if you guys didn't want it in the game, just to create a mailing list in the overviews. That's fast. It's actually getting one in the game because I have to call the information differently. But you know, with the alliance overviews and you did members, you could either have a checkbox or you could have some kind of continent sort or something like that. And then a export to mailing list kind of thing, which would be like a direct copy, so you could just paste it right in. But you know, if I'm going to do a mailing list, I'd rather do it in the game and have it something that you can save and just kind of click on, because we have it already. So like in this area, you just kind of click on this mailing list or that mailing list, and it would just populate it for you. Yeah, the iron and stone are backwards, and that will be fixed on the patch, because I fixed that already on my end at least.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
As you can see, this spot has more stone and less iron.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was a ticket that I sent him.
Yeah. So that'll be fixed on the patch.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's the mailing list would be savable. And you could just like, I'm not sure how Lisa's going to set it up. If it's going to be a drop down or something, but
it'll be in that contact menu anyway. But yeah. I'll have a think about that. I think I had to think about it before, but I can't remember what I decided. So
I think we could do a drop down where you could have all of your lists saved. I don't know how you would do the actual adding people to a list.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but anyway.
Maybe the same way that we kind of do substitutions. You know, where it actually
Oh, you type in the name? Yeah.
you know, gives you the list. And then you could, you know, select them and then add it to the list and then save the list.
Cool.
Because I'm sure people would rather have it where they don't only have alliance members, you know, but could just put anybody on there. And, you know, all of these new options do work, so I don't know if anybody's tested them extensively, but I haven't heard any complaints about them. I know the city name one works, as you can see. It will go one way, but it won't go back the other way until you refresh. which is just kind of the way it is.
Gordy, you already knew about Sigamet's mail app, right? From other game.
Um, by the time I had seen it, it was gone, or it wasn't depreciated. But
Yeah.
we had always thought about adding threads to mails and stuff, and we kind of just put in a base system, and eventually we'll go back. But it's not something that has made it up there on the priority list yet. So maybe down the road. Same with forms, where we make them kind of threaded, so you can actually see the thread going down to the mail. Grouping more. Yeah, you can't do that with the Alliance list. If you export it, it will just, you can make your own list. But it'd be nicer if we could have savable lists in the game.
Yeah.
Would you guys rather have it where it's just you can make mailing lists of your Alliance members instead of, being able to add anybody to them?
Well, I think that we probably should have some automated ones of like all members on, say, I don't know, C12 or something, kind of automatically generated that if an alliance has some cities on C12 that you can automatically select that mailing list.
Are we going to make those go with permissions?
No, I don't think so. I think they should be available to everyone.
Well, I mean, currently this only works with permission. Like the mail the officers and leaders or mail the whole alliance. That's actually one of the permissions.
Oh, is it?
Uh-huh.
Was that from other games? I don't remember that.
It was to keep,
oh yeah,
somebody
Mail
who
Hill
wasn't a
Alliance
leader.
was. Yeah, I know, you're right. I do remember that. As for mailing individual continents, yeah, okay, we could make it by alliance rank.
Yeah, I think we would need to, because the reason for that was so that you didn't have some new member or something constantly spamming the entire alliance all the time.
Yeah. Sly, consider doing what to city lists?
I think he means also having like the kind of C12 city lists or kind of automatically in there.
Oh, so already have like a preset.
Yeah, I think that would probably get quite messy. Like if you're on a lot of continents, maybe the player wants to sort them differently than that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we can think about it.
Yeah, because it only takes a couple of seconds to make your own lists.
You can send mail with. We have a lot of options for mail. I think it even takes BVC. Not positive though. I mean, yeah, it's got. Pretty sure it does. So you can pretty much send mails with full HTML or tables, and copy and paste. You can actually add it to players and stuff.
Yeah,
I think he means a CC input. Like in other games that you could CC people. Yeah. I never saw the purpose of that. What was the function of that?
So you could mail more than 100 people.
Yeah.
Or you could send a mail to somebody and send it to another person without it showing that person got it. I don't see the need for it. Because you can chain together the two, so you can always forward it to somebody if you want to. Yeah, I just don't see us putting that in there.
Well, I mean, you can go into your send mails and, yeah, as Gordy said, forward.
Yeah, I mean, you could just forward something. I did fix portal stones, so they're taken away now.
Yes.
And my troops just abandoned.
Oh,
I
no.
just lost 10 million vanquishers.
Oh god.
Bastards.
Yeah, that's the problem with having so many troops is you gotta feed them.
Got a bunch of food incoming. I'm only burning 22 million an hour. Jeez. And the problem is I can't even dismiss them.
Not enough dismissed lots.
When the portal's still open, I'm going to send them all at Rand and see if we can kill them all. Yeah, you can write a list, a script to manage your city list, or make them automatically if that's what you want to do. The information's, pretty easy to decipher, because that's more of a customized thing than I would want to put in for everyone. Well, you can forward if you're gonna forward something. You could forward it to more than 99 people. You can just pick something and forward it.
Yeah, and once we get the mailing lists in, then you can choose who you're forwarding it to.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to
Oh, I see
send
what
to a group.
he wants. He wants to blind copy all 100 people, so it looks like each one is only getting the email from him. So he's looking for like a mass mail function.
Hmm.
Maybe we could add in a checkbox or something for that. Show recipients or don't show recipients.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty easy. We could do. That would take like 5 minutes.
Okay.
It'd take longer for you to make the checkbox.
Cool. I'll add it to the list so we don't forget.
Or we can make it so that if people use the like alliance leaders, because I remember the need for that as an alliance leader, to send out a mass mail to everybody, and then people start clicking reply all, and it gets to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So we actually used to have a mail system that sent it to everybody on the list. So maybe it's something that we just build directly into the alliance leader controls. So if they click mail whole alliance, it automatically just sends it to one person at a time. I mean, because mails are stored like that anyways.
Well, sometimes reply all is necessary, as if you're kind of trying to make plans with a small group or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, sending it individually would be remove reply all.
Yeah.
It kind of have the same effect.
Yeah. Well, we could do that.
But yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, so that way, if you send a mail out to your alliance, then you don't get like 30 million reply alls to dig through.
So yeah, however you want to make the checkbox. If you want to make it where it sends it individually, or if you want to make it so that it, I think sending it individually would do the same thing,
It would.
and would also
It would.
allow the secondary of not including everybody who got the mail.
Yep, sounds good.
So if we did that, it
I'll
would
do that.
stop reply all and everything.
Okay, we'll do that then.
easy enough.
Yeah.
And if anybody's got any more questions, we can do another 5 minutes since Microsoft tried to censor me. It was the man trying to hold me down.
M says this will make him rage quit half as much.
Does that mean after 10 days instead of 20? Or does that mean half as... I think it's
I
got to
think
be
he means
days.
40 days. Invisible says that the bug with build cancer, where if he builds a low level building, it gets ignored, is still happening.
Okay. I'm wondering... I actually think that I know the reason for that, and that it's not counting that building that was just finished on the next cycle. So then it's choosing another building, whereas it will hit the next building after that second building is done. So
Oh, I see. Okay.
maybe I need to add in another update round in between building finishes in order for it to make sure it catches the new ones. The 1 to 2s makes less sense than the 0 to 1s. I thought it was 0 to 1s that weren't getting the updates.
Yeah, I haven't seen it choose low level over high level.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look. It's always hardest to get the ones that don't happen all the time and are hard to replicate.
Yeah. Okay.
Invisible says he keeps getting queues that are stuck that he has to cancel.
Next time you get one, if you can, send in a ticket with the city and don't cancel it.
Yeah, send in the city coordinates
And
and
then I can pop in and check it out.
yeah.
Because it's hard for me to fix things when I can't see the issues.
Okay, I see what Rand is saying. You add the new buildings in, and it'll do like level 2, and then it'll still add a level to the higher level ones. It won't catch up the lower levels to the higher levels before.
So it's just kind of doing one level of everything, regardless of what level it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can work on that.
Cool.
Oh, I think that the counselor Phil Quay would probably do Phil the Q would probably do the same thing, where it would just cycle through every one of them and upgrade
Regardless of level.
regardless of level. So if it did a level 2, it wouldn't take the next one up to 3. It would take from level 9 to level 10.
Okay.
So that means I'm going to have to put in the scan loop for
Overviews.
every time it drops one.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them work.
I think some of the ones in commands don't.
Some of the ones in commands, I've been trying to go through it every time I find them to actually fix them. I think this one
Same.
doesn't work, but they all kind of have to be run a special way. So it's not like it's just to make all of them click. I actually have to put in, and the problem is we made a lot of these menus before I made it the function to go to coordinates. So
Yeah.
if you see them, ticket them, and then she'll add them to the list, and I'll fix them.
In offense history, the cores don't work. Okay. Oh, we also, is it offense or not
Okay.
offense history? I think in outgoing attacks, we also need to add a column for origination city or something.
They all work except for the target city. Okay. Yeah, somebody else said that too. If you could send a ticket in with that city, I can have a look and see what's going on. That would help me find the issue and fix it.
Yeah, send in a
Guessing
ticket
at
with.
it.
Yeah.
The see my cities only. Is that? Does it turn off instead of? Yep, it does. Yep, I can make it sticky. I think that was my lazy cheap fix, was to turn them off instead of proactively sorting. So yeah, we'll see if we can get that fixed. Tomorrow will be a big bug crunch day,
Yes.
Yeah.
like we usually have.
Yeah. All the little fixes.
I get sorted list. All right. Well, I think we've gone over enough. So we will be on next week at the same time to answer more questions and talk about the new stuff we've added and kind of show off things that will be added soon. We will be doing our maintenance tomorrow. So all the stuff that you've seen that was kind of new will be in tomorrow. And thank you guys so much for playing. It's appreciated your patience through different bug fixes. I think the game's getting to a great point where it's stable and everything's working well. It's mostly minor things like links not working and stuff like that fill our bug reports. So it's
Progress.
definitely nice to see the game getting to a point where it's ready for a more for a wider audience.
Yes, I quite agree.
So
Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming and chatting with us and for
Yep.
asking good questions.
Yep, and yeah, we will be adding Brazilian stuff in when I get around to it. But we'll probably do that for a couple different countries that have terrible exchange rates.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately.
thank you everyone, and we will see you next week.
Yes, thank you.